You know, I spoke right before Ron Paul just a few weeks ago, right outside Austin. He talked about how his poll numbers just go up and up and up, and the support just gets greater and greater and greater as he resists all of this, and as he says no to this, and as he throws the lobbyist out of his office. The truth is, when the whole world's sold out, you guys are going to get more power out of not going with the system. This thing is in terminal velocity. This thing is falling down around itself. The corruption, the comprehensive annual financial reports, the scams. Now, got about 9 minutes left. I'm going to try to go through these points because they're all very, very important. Section 213 of the first Patriot Act lets them break in your house or any business and take whatever they want or plant whatever they want and not tell you for 6 months they were there, and they're administrative. They're rubber stamps. They aren't for Billy Bob's house because we think he has this under the Fourth Amendment. They're for everybody. They're for whole classes of people. And now under the new Patriot Act, they have sections where they say our officers need not even need these administrative subpoenas or warrants. They can just carte blanche go anywhere they want for any crime or suspected crime. And the spokesman for the Justice Department just a few months ago, after Ashcroft admitted, okay, there is a Patriot Act too, went before the House and Senate, and this was in the news, in the Associated Press, and said, well, yeah, we're going to use this in all crimes, all drug crimes, everything. Misdemeanors, third-degree felonies, everything. That's on the record. U.S. attorneys, deputy attorneys, assistant attorneys, all these people, they're saying, yeah, we're going to use this for everything. They are using it for everything. The Victory Act, which is a continual salvo in this attack on the American people, clearly states that any possession of a controlled substance is an act of terrorism under Section 802, pointing back to that enacting clause. Well, it endangers human life. It's a weapon of mass destruction. They've actually got articles in the news about, oh yeah, they're charging people with weapons of mass destruction because they had marijuana. We don't want to be part of this. This is crazy. People disappearing in the middle of the night. I mean, what did Alexander Solzhenitsyn say in Gulag Archipelago? Oh, how we burned in the camps. Later, wishing that when the secret police went out at night to come to our doors, we would have met them. Met them downstairs with pokers and axes and daggers. America is a great country full of great people, and it deserves better than what's happening. And I personally monitor every day the news wires, Reuters, AP, AFP. I spend 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours at night, and I have several people that work for me that do the same thing. And I mean, it's well in excess of 400 cities and towns. It's now 4 states. I mean, it's been at 140, 170 for, what, 6 months in the news? More propaganda. Can't the press get anything right? Can't this controlled corporate whore machine get anything right? Now, 10th Amendment, very important subject. During abolition, that started in around 1810 or so, there were cities, there were towns, there were states that were free. And they said no to the federal government in the North and the government in the South, and they were safe havens for human beings that didn't want to be in bondage and had the courage to flee and risk their lives. It is so American for local governments to stand up to the tyranny of evil men and say no. That is our place, that is our job. And these arguments are baseless, and they are the arguments of liars and tyrants and sycophants that beg at the hand of this global cess system. So again, be part of history. Be part of history and stand up and do something right and don't abstain. Vote for the Bill of Rights and the Constitution. That shows us how far we've gone, how far we've slid down into the abyss, into the night, into the darkness, that it's a radical thing for conservative and liberal cities. Conservative states like Alaska, liberal states like Hawaii. It's radical for them to come out and say, you can't secretly arrest people, you got to have warrants to bust in houses. It goes on and on. There's this argument, well, our police officers get in trouble not following orders, not doing what the feds tell them. The feds, my friends, don't tell the sheriff and the city and the police chief what to do. And that's not debatable. They can try, but it's a fraud. And it goes back. It goes back to the 10th Amendment time and time again. And it's clear The Nuremberg trials showed this, that you do not have to follow an unlawful criminal order. Blow that person's head off and stick him in an oven. No, you don't have to. Torture these Vietnamese women to get answers from them. No, I'm not going to do it. Take this smallpox inoculation. We said so, police officer. 99+% have said no. They're starting to get wise. You can't stop people getting wise. It's happening all over the place. The tyranny's too great. So police aren't going to get in trouble. But the problem is, the reason they are getting in trouble, and then the feds come in and federalize cities in the name of stopping a problem that they cause, violation of civil liberties and our God-given rights that are enshrined in the first 10 amendments to the Constitution. If the police just knew the Constitution, and they taught the Bill of Rights again, and that's why I like this resolution, it talks about that, celebrating a Bill of Rights culture, knowing what our liberties and freedoms are, having workshops for city employees and police, and having a trust again in the community. That's what we need, and that's all we're asking you to do, is to do something right, stand up for humanity. Now, there's a lot of talk about democracy here this evening. And it's very important to understand that we're a country that has a rule of law. And in a democracy, a pure democracy, if when the Greeks would tally up the stones, they'd say, okay, we're going to kill this guy because we don't like what he's been saying. The majority says so. And they'd go throw him off a cliff. And a lot of the great philosophers. It's 2 wolves and a sheep voting on what's for dinner. That's what a democracy is. We need a republic, which is a limited democracy. Where just because a bunch of people under fear, when the dictator's carrying out terrorist attacks to scare the people into submission, can't stampede off the cliff and round up Arabs or Muslims or Christians or people's land they want. That's what freedom's all about, is protecting everybody. And that's what our beautiful republic does. So please, this is a big step. This is standing up and saying no to this tyranny. This is not just some frivolous resolution that does nothing. This is historical. People all over the country coming together and rediscovering their liberties and freedoms and interfacing with their local government and saying, hey, be part of this solution so that we can have a safe and happy and vibrant community where people can grow and live and learn. Now, it really is important also for the council and for the people assembled here today to understand that the level of deception and manipulation and skullduggery surrounding the Patriot Act's passage, surrounding the introduction of Patriot Act 2, Victory Act 1 and 2, all of the arm twisting and garbage that's gone on in Washington, D.C., that is all the more reason. The lies by the Justice Department and their minions telling us that it doesn't affect citizens, telling us that we don't have anything to worry about. It demands that we stand up and speak out and repudiate this nightmare legislation. I mean, it's just, there's darkness swirling around this thing. And as more of the veils are pulled away, we see the true horror of what they're trying to build, what they're trying to construct. And I'll just close with this. And it is scary, and we need to be scared. So we can get involved and stand up. That's what fear is about. Getting you moving, not hiding under the pillow, not hiding under the bed. General Rick Baucus, you should have heard about it in the Statesman, but of course you didn't. Brigadier General over Camp X-Ray resigned. He said, I'm not going to be part of torturing these people. These aren't even Taliban or Al-Qaeda at this pace. This is all a big show. And he left. Did you ever hear the head general say, I'm not going to torture these little kids? Well, most of them are like 12. That's sick, folks, and nobody even knows about that. Nobody even knows about that. That's Associated Press. That's the reality of what we're dealing with and facing. So I'm asking the people of this council, the citizens of Austin, to join us and to do the right thing, and again, to be part of history. Please do it. Do the right thing. Please don't abstain. Please vote and reaffirm the Bill of Rights and Constitution and the soul and heart of America. And again, I want to thank all of you for being here.